Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. Well enough. And if not, well, I'm glad to have you here. Me, I'm sleeping. I'm not gonna lie. We had the stupid fucking daylight savings time shit a couple weeks ago. And with my meds that already give me issues with insomnia, sleep change is already hard. And then I thought, oh, maybe I should move my stream time earlier so that I have more free time for myself after stream. So it's not like right up against bed. And so the typical stream time while we're testing this is 2 hours earlier than normal. And it feels wrong. Like I got off work and I got off work early and I was like, man, I'm beat. I'm gonna take a nap. And I got woken up by my stream alarm, and it's like, fuck, man. It's just too tired. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, funny enough, I put my money where my mouth is, literally. Um, and I started doing recordings for the reading of On Anger by Seneca in his letters to Novatus. Um, so I even a few hours later, I'm still like warmed up from when I was doing that. I've had plenty of tea today, but now I'm gonna screw up my vocal cords. I'm gonna contract everything by drinking this very cold water because it's very refreshing. Because we had snow 2 days ago, and now it's like 75 degrees. It's gonna be 92 on Friday. I hate this. I hate fake spring. I hate it. Yeah, I saw your food. It looks good. I might steal that. I've got some potatoes that are gonna start trying to sprout soon because I haven't eaten them fast enough, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with them. Um, might just end up making like 8 pounds of mashed potatoes, like I did the last time. I buy this huge ass bag of like jumbo baking potatoes because they're really cheap per pound, and I never finish them. But I'm literally paying almost the same amount of money I would for other potatoes, and I'm getting like twice as much potato. So it's really hard to get over that fact. Also, did a little more work today during lunch, and I had to make some food too. I want to get some more glass. I think I've got glass cooking now. Actually, you can see the smoke from it. I want to put some more glass up in this spot because this faces west. So when oof, that looked weird. Um, when the sun sets, you can see it out of the window. Yeah, yeah. I followed Inigo on YouTube to see some of their little preview stuff they've been posting over time, and now I'm getting more and more content recommended about VS. I mean, most of what I watch is either Rubik's Raptor and the really funny playthroughs they do, or Hazor, who does some pretty. He does like Fallout stuff and RimWorld stuff, and has been doing some more vintage story too. He's cool. Anyway, I think what I've got on the menu for today, I want to get some more copper. Got massive copper nodes out here on top of the magnetite. And actually, I might check. Where'd my lantern go? I think I put it in here. Yeah. Um, I want to get some more copper to make some lanterns to put around the base. I wish I had more lead on hand so I could do molybdecalcos lanterns across the base, but I just don't think that's happening. I open another sarsaparilla. Nice. Oh, hey, there's dinner. You stay right there. I'm gonna grab a ladder. That's a whole ass pampas deer. I'm gonna scoop that up. Also, I forgot to put away some of my molds. Okay. No, there was a... I want to say there was already a copper reading I had dug out, but I couldn't remember if I had finished or not. But, I will happily take a distraction to get some food. Watching a 10-hour stream is rough. Yeah, no, I just watch the videos. I don't watch the VODs. Because there's a lot that gets cut out from those. Which, I mean, makes sense. But still. Yeah. If I didn't have to feed myself, it wouldn't be such a big deal, but that is kind of just how it goes around here. I also need leather. Oh, this isn't going to be enough for another bag. Damn it. I need 8. That's the problem with doing these really, like, tiny batches of leather, because I don't hunt very much. But yeah, let's go ahead and get that put away. I wanted to check where I was mining copper before. And I wanted to check and see if I'd finished it. It was a great copper mine, too, because it was 2 different discs on top of each other. There was one that was medium quality, and then there was a rich one right next to it. Not here. Where? This is 508, 716, 728. I might have mined out the 716. It was somewhere in this damn hillside. I should have marked it. Yeah, here it is. But I need, what is it, 10 plates, 20 ingots worth of copper. It's a shame that I've got really long months on, so I can't, Okay, so I didn't finish the pillar. You know what I should have done? I should have just grabbed ladders and my prospecting pick. It's good that that's not full of bad things, though. I fence off all of my mines, whether I finished them or not, but I'm pretty sure that one was cleared out. I had something like 1,500 units of copper, and I've chewed through most of that by now. So I want to get those plates so that we can get our oven up. Then I'd like to go hunting for iron. We've got some really good iron readings. Couple of these. There's this chunk here is 3.42 per mil. I think that's the best we've got in the area. The fact that it was just so close to where I settled is fantastic. You're interested in prospecting? Well, I'm gonna be real with you. I think prospecting is one of the weakest elements of Vintage Story, and because this is a modded playthrough, I have modded the hell out of my prospecting experience. For one, the most frustrating part of it for me is something that some people just don't get. When you do the normal prospecting, the readings it tells you are chance. They're not guarantees. You could have an ultra high reading in a chunk and not actually have any bit of that metal in the chunk. It's ridiculous. Hi, Eflin. I hope you're well. But yeah, no, by default, the readings you get from prospecting are not great. Oh, this needs reforged. Nah, that's fine. So I have three different mods. I've got one mod that slightly retools the prospecting system so that it gives you exact readings rather than what are chances. And I've got another one called Borehole that actually gives you. Well, it's not. It's not called Borehole. It's Betterer Prospecting. I think it's what it's called. It's got a proximity mode that tells you if there's ore within 5 blocks of you, and it tells you how many. And then Borehole tells you all the materials in like a 4 block radius pillar down. So it tells you if there are ores of a given type below a given block. And then this stone mode, which helps you look for specific stone types, which can be handy if you're trying to find a specific sort of rock stratum. Is that Tinker's Constant? Okay, so this is a workbench. This is part of Toolsmith. It is very overpowered, but it's to my taste. I've also got Prospect Together, which gives you these big squares to tell you about chunks rather than you having to figure things out with just the base prospect marks. Toolsmith helps me overcome another aspect of the Vintage Story like tool system that I'm not a big fan of. I really am not a huge fan of games these days that when your tool loses durability, you just lose the whole damn tool. It's antiquated and it wasn't fun when it was the only system we've got. We can do better. So Toolsmith exchanges needing to take care of handle and binding durability on top of your heads in exchange for the ability to maintain your tools. Whereas you have to sharpen your tools, and as your tools get dull, they become less effective to use. So you have to resharpen them with whetstones or a grinding stone. But when a tool head runs out of durability, that is, you've used it, you sharpen it, it loses durability. You repeat that a few times as your bindings break or your handles break, and you have to replace those. Eventually, the tool head itself breaks. And you can convert the tool head into a workpiece, like if you were just doing normal smithing, and you can heat and add new bits of that material type. Oh, perfect. One? One rich copper. Okay. I just literally hit the edge of a disc. I was going to be so fucking mad. Welcome back. But, it, like a lot of mods, it does trivialize part of the experience in that once you've gotten enough material for a suite of tools, you don't really need to get more material. You don't have to get material for those tools nearly as often. So you're not you have less excuse for doing mining trips because you don't need as much of the metal. Oh damn it, the achievement sound man, I gotta fix that damn thing. I don't want to fix all my stream alerts on stream. That's ah, where even is the achievement one? Hang on. I'm distracted. I'm distracted because my shit broke because I tried to clean things up and didn't finish it. Wait, no, that file's what? The file I didn't move that file. Wait a second, why didn't it play the damn sound? It's in the same place it was. Yeah, it's supposed to be that, but it didn't play it. What the hell? Oh, it's broken. For some reason, the achievement. one. It didn't set the. Oh, I know what it was. I was screwing around with the where is it? I was screwing around with the chaos mode that we voted on a long time ago and that I never bothered to finish. Um where it makes all of the redeems unlimited and 1 point so people could spam the hell out of them. Because what I was going to do is I was going to make a redeem that was like 25,000 points or
And
something like
now,
that.
Secret Horse.
Well, that one works at least. Um, um, and so someone could spend a huge amount of points to let everyone blow up stream for like 30 seconds. But I'm pretty sure when it started to affect the achievement one, it turned off the required text setting for achievements. And so that's why that broke. Actually, no, I'm looking at some of my other redeems here, and there are multiple things broken here. I'm going to have to just spend some time, probably this weekend, and just clean all of my stream stuff up. Honestly, I just need to move my stream setup over to Linux, bite the fucking bullet, because I've got the install, I've got a bunch of stuff set up, and I work on my Linux install during the day. Just take care of that and get it over with. But I've got so many little pieces in my stream overlay, and I just don't want to do the work over again. I've gotten comfortable with what I've had for. Let's see. When did Pat finally convince me to stop using Streamlabs OBS? It's like 3 years ago, maybe. Cuts into a random point and you can't frog me around in place for 4 seconds. That's really hard to do, actually. Because nothing in what I've got for Sammy actually does any sort of media playing. It literally just activates a source, moves it, and rotates it for the horse thing. I don't know off the top of my head how I could do like dynamic cutting of audio. I'd have to just script it myself, and I could probably manage that. I've got an old project where I was going to put my entire stream overlay into a Unity project, and I was going to do it in a transparent window. So that everything is under my control. I don't have to worry about other people updating their software. And if it's updates from Twitch that need to be done, well, it was going to be done anyway because it's updates from Twitch. Let's see. It still says there's some copper in here. It's probably just like an errant piece or two in the ceiling or in the floor. Still though, stumbling on a rich copper vein. Yeah, it's almost 1,800 units of copper. That'll honestly just solve the copper needs I had to begin with. I will probably, let's see, it's 547. I might just keep digging while we have the advantage. We'll leave that and then just keep going down. The folk hooded version. We'll see. Pat, stop me if I've told you this before. If you've heard this one before. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll start putting stuff on YouTube again. Oh, but I don't wanna put videos on YouTube where sections of it are just lots of like audio spam. No, fuck it. I'm gonna have a channel on YouTube. I'm gonna post VODs and shit again, and whatever the fuck shows up in stream, whether it's rants like yesterday or earlier this week with Vanderland that people don't have context for, or it's just a lot of audio spam and cringe shit. I don't care. Fuck it. Some more variety with sound redeems would be nice. I need to get everything unified. You know what I might do? As anxiety inducing as it is for me to code stuff live on stream, especially when it comes to like Twitch integration, which I'm not very good at. I barely know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, I might take some time and we just do Twitch integration stuff. We literally just build it on stream and test it on stream. Because the setup I've got in my old project obfuscates like password stuff. What the hell? How did we go from no node to very large amounts of copper? Okay, so it's in here somewhere. So 2, 3, we got 3 very large, 4 very large. Oh, it's going to be a tall disk. 5? And some bismuthite, okay. Justin Keppy's a friend of mine. Gotcha. Well, it's good to have you. Let's see, 3 blocks. 4 blocks. 3 blocks. 3 blocks. Okay, so it's somewhere in that chunk over there. Yeah, okay. So then we'll just dig over... Oh. Oh, it's poor quality, but that's okay, because apparently it's a very large node. Or it might be just more overlap nodes. Just going to tell you, I think your voice is very soothing. Well, I appreciate that. I am trying to lean into that these days. Like I said near the start of the stream, I have started putting my money where my mouth is, with what I was talking about yesterday. I'm doing some audiobook recording. I'm reading On Anger by Seneca. It's one of my favorite Stoic texts that I've read in recent years. And as someone who has some issues with anger management, or has in the past, and I'm sorry, there's poor and rich copper next to each other? What the hell? What is this generation? But as someone who's had issues with anger management in the past, and I have a taste for stoicism, actual stoicism, not the, tech bro grind set bullshit kind of thing. It means a lot to me, and I have a guilty pleasure. There's a generative AI video I listen to when I'm having a rough day at work, or some shit's going wrong, or if I'm just in one of my depressive episodes that is just obdurate rage. I listen to this generated video of Kratos, Christopher Judge's Kratos from God of War, reading On Anger. And I love it. It's great. But I'm really trying to support actual audiobook authors. Authors? What? It's not voice acting. What is the term for person who does audiobooks? I don't know. Speakers. I don't know. But I want to find someone whose voice really works for me. And at the same time, I get compliments every now and again on my voice, speaking on stream or for like YouTube videos. And it seemed only natural, well, let's just do it myself. If you want something done right. It's a communist vein, rich and poor alike live in the same rock. Careful saying stuff like that. You're going to end up on a list. Oh no, I read it aloud. My Echo Dot is going to report me to the thought police. Oh, excuse me. Give me a second. I don't know if there's more for me to gain from playing A Hat in Time again. I've done... Well, there were 3 different normal runs I did for stream, and I speedran it on stream twice. The first one was like 4 hours, and then I did the second one in under 3, which was cool. I had a lot of fun doing the speedrun practice off stream, and a hat in time 80% is actually really like accessible for a speedrun. But I've really gotten my fill from it, I think. Like, it had a big influence on how my channel started, sure. But even though I've been interested in trying to enjoy and thoroughly get through. Ah, my pick broke. Man. Okay, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna hope nothing spawns while I'm away because it's foggy as hell. Have you tried or considered Hytale? I have. I've heard of it. I knew about it in development hell. Um, I've not really considered it. No, actually. Being honest, not like it's oh, I don't want to do it. It's more of I've just not really thought about it much. Um, I actually, to be frank, I haven't looked into it much since the debacle with it being canceled by Riot and then them reacquiring it. So I don't know what it's about. I want to say it's actually like a story-driven voxel survival game. I don't know. And that's kind of what I've got Vintage Story for is it's still early in development, but there's a story focus to it. You can play without engaging the story at all. But that's really where the focus is. They're like 2 chapters into what should be an 8-chapter story, if I remember right. Where are my tool handles? I'm not out of tool handles. Of course not. Because I have 64 support beams. Yeah, there's no way I'm running out of tool handles. I need to just make a crate of these. But yeah, it would be interesting. I just don't really know a whole lot about it, and I don't buy a lot of new games anymore. I will say though, I have 2 on my horizon because one looks really cool. They're similar concepts, but one I've wanted for years, and the other I have held off on getting immediately. But the main one I want, it's called PVKK, which is, I'm gonna butcher the German name for it. Planeten Verteidigungskommandant, something like that. I don't know. I've never spoken German in my life, but it's the planetary artillery sim game, and it looks cool as hell. And then there's another game that's very clearly inspired by it, also coming out in the same quarter, uh, called Iron Nest, and they're both Dr. Springer for. Oh God, please no! If anything, call Karsten. He'll be nice at least. Dr. Springer never really cared for me like at all, so maybe we don't. But God, this copper disc is big. But those are the games that are on my radar for later this year. I was playing Oxygen Not Included, and then I let myself get distracted with the news of the Vintage Story update coming soon, TM. So my schedule's kind of I'm trying to figure it out. I've essentially tossed in the towel for for any notion of like regular continuity in my schedule. I like playing variety stuff. I'm not as big a fan as of doing multiple games in a week. You can ask Pat. There was a time where I did like 3 or 4 games in a week, where I'd switch from day to day to day, but it didn't work for me. Everything was progressing too slowly. But I would consider a Hytale, possibly, if I have a hole in my schedule and after I have a look at it, if it sounds interesting. But I'm not entirely sure yet. Like I said before, I'm kind of set in my ways for how I want to do things, and that is whatever I want when I want it. And if people aren't particularly fond of the inconsistent, random manner of it, well, that's just how the cookie crumbles, isn't it? I had a rant on stream yesterday. Don't know if you were there for it, but what it worked out to in my tipsy rambling came out to me wanting to get back to my creative side and kind of just discard this anxiety over people's expectations of me in terms of like consistency and shit. I would much rather just enjoy myself, and if it's consistent, cool. If it's not, oh well. Oop, that's not what I want. I'm looking for Node. There's bismuth here, but bismuth is not particularly... Oh, no, it is. We have an ultra high reading. I don't really want the bismuth right now, though. I don't need it. What I need to do is I need to cook up some copper. I also need to make a charcoal pit. I keep forgetting to do that. I need that. I think I can say confidently, though, I have more than enough copper for my needs right now. Okay, I gotta line back up. What are we doing? Getting copper for plates, for the oven. Oh, I should not be having caffeine at 7 at night. I was gonna go looking for iron. That's right, we're doing more mining today. Also, let's go ahead and carve this deer up before it spoils. Because we can keep the entrails for rot, for compost. Actually toss the bones too. And I've been trying to save the prime meat to cook down into fat. Whether that works out or not, we'll see. Is my wine finished? It is finished. Very nice. Cranberry wine. Maybe that's something I should make this year. I play Vintage Story so often, and I find myself making gallons and gallons and gallons of cranberry wine. Maybe I could try making that. I want to make cider in the coming months, and I've got another beer brewing kit coming. Even though I'm not big on IPAs, the company I get the kits from didn't really have anything but IPAs in stock, and it sucks. That out. Break down our copper. I should have enough black coal for this.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
I will find you, and I will hug you.
Yeah, I have got to fix my sound redeems. I'm so annoyed. Oh, yeah, you don't have to... I talk through those all the time, but yeah, I can be a little long-winded. I appreciate it, though. I I was gonna cynically have a celebration in Discord last week. Because I was like, hey guys, look, I'm at 400 followers. Because I've been perpetually between 400 and 420 followers for like 3 years. And I was like, nah, that feels petty. I don't like the way that feels. Yeah, sure, and no obligations. If something comes up and you're not by, that's perfectly fine. Like I tell everyone, there's no obligation for attendance here. I like having people by. If people just lurk, that's fine too. It's good having you. I'm always up for conversation, if it wasn't already apparent. Let's see, so 6, 12, 14, 16, 18. Need to move this. 20. There we go. I have what? 36, 42? I didn't really count how many we were making. I was just going off yesterday. Okay, so 20 ingots. Can I even make 20 ingots? I can do 24 at a time. So let's go ahead and just do that. And then hope it doesn't rain. Because I don't... I can cover this. I can cover it. Just get some blocks. I need to work on a proper smithy building. But this will have to do for now. Alright, 2,400 units of copper. That's going to be a lot of charcoal. Or a lot of coal. It's probably going to be like 20? Because it stops being an issue of getting up to temperature and you start spending more just trying to maintain temperature. So we'll let that run. That's probably going to take 7 or 8 minutes. Go ahead and pick up the glass. And then I need to make a new set of bloomeries for iron. And I think for now, I will just go ahead and use black coal for my iron. Did I bring my lantern back? I did, okay. Let's see. We'll do just like 4 of these. I need to work on more lanterns, too. I have to decide, am I going to make them out of copper? Shoot, do I make them out of iron? Iron veins tend to be really plentiful. I like my lanterns to have a consistent look, but making lanterns out of iron is such an opulent concept. Speaking of opulence, gonna let myself get distracted real quick. I want to go talk to the commodities trader and see if... Oh, that just deleted it. Okay. I want to talk to the commodities trader and see if they're selling candles again. If not candles, maybe beeswax. Until my flax finishes growing and I can press the excess grain into oil, I'm stuck with using wax for candles, unless I happen to find bees in the wild. But this whole area is so arid that we're really not getting bees. Alright. You are selling candles again. Okay. So, let's see. You want 2.5 stacks of peat, 2 birch, and 2 pine crates. I can do all that. That'll be 6, 12, 17 gears. So I can get 4 of your 5 supplies of candles. That works for me. So 2.5 stacks of peat. Or, no, peat stacks of 32. It's 5 stacks of peat. 2 birch crates, 2 pine crates, and then we can buy more candles. You know, I was going on yesterday about making brass for torch holders. If I'm just buying my candles, I'll just make lanterns. Like, we've got such rich ore nodes near us that maybe just making the lanterns is the better bet. Oh, I'm out of peat. Okay. So we need 2 birch, 2 pine. I don't have any birch wood on hand. And I'm not cutting down those birch trees, because I've got them tapped making birch sap. Let me Slay the Spire. Ooh, fun. I haven't played Slay the Spire in forever. I didn't get very deep into it. The only victory I've got, I've beat it like twice, I think. Both of those were with the defect, because all of my runs that have gotten so close on the other 2 main characters, because I haven't played the new 4th one, the monk. I haven't played the monk. I think both of them ended up getting screwed over by the... It's like the Time Winder or something. It's the one that limits how many cards you can play at a time. So if you're like spamming a lot of stuff, it screws you over. And I get that in my Shiv runs and my shield runs, and oh my gosh. Yeah, the snail. It's so bad. I get it at the worst times. I can have the best runs going, and then that shows up at the very end and just damns it all. It's just so unfortunate. Great game. Love it. Not very good at it. Oh, playing 2? Gotcha. Gotcha. Excuse me. Okay. So we're gonna bring the supplies over. We're about halfway done with our copper. Ooh, 3. Peat. I have to go get peat. Nearest one's gonna be northwest. Where'd my... Oh, I turned my waypoints off. That's what I did. Yeah, northwest. Yeah, there was... I think one of my favorite runs. I was playing the defect, and I was doing a power build. And I was also... I want to say I forget what they're called, relics or artifacts or whatever. I had something that was giving me loads and loads of money. And so I was just buying more and more things and going to every single shop I possibly could. And I was bursting probably like 8 or 9 lightning orbs in a given turn. I forget which power it is, but there's one that like lowers the costs of playing other powers, and I was cycling through my like half my deck in a turn. And so you're just loading orb after orb after orb after orb, and blowing things up. And it was so good because I could keep doing the elite encounters so you get better stuff. It was a fantastic run. I think it might have been one of my winning ones. But I don't have great memory of playing Slay the Spire. I'm not saying I have a bad memory of it. It's been so long since I've played it, and a lot of my runs just never took off. Like, I'd say, oh, I want to do a poison run, or do a shiv run, or do a block run, or what's the one you can do with the melee user? It's like heavy blow or something. I was trying to stack as much damage into like single strikes as I could. And I don't know if it's like what the game's supposed to do or if I just had rotten luck, but it always felt like my builds were going well and then I'd get enemies thrown at me specifically to counter my runs. And that's where it really just kind of felt bad. There's multiplayer in Slay the Spire too? How does that work? Multiplayer Slay the Spire. How does that work? I mean, it sounds cool, but any scale with the amount of players? Huh. And what, you just like collectively decide on where you're going, or is it just people take turns doing routes? I mean, it sounds like it could be made possible pretty easily, but how that reflects in the design choices really has my attention. It's dice rolled with odds dependent on player selections. Huh. I mean, I suppose it still pays off to just try and work with your teammates on where you want to go rather than trying to fight over it. It does sound interesting, though. The main reason that Slay the Spire 2 has been on my radar is I heard recently it's made in Godot. And I'm reminded of why it's made in Godot. When Unity had their terms of service debacle a few years back. And Slay the Spire literally came out and said, this is unacceptable and we're going to be retooling our game engine. We don't make public announcements. That's how bad this decision is. And there was, you know, there was some griping over it, but I think it was a very justified decision. And lo and behold, the game's out. And as far as I've seen, it's gotten pretty good accolades. And that it has multiplayer is news to me, but that's cool as hell. Copper is almost done. Also, I think we're going to be getting a temporal storm soon. Should be. Like, really soon. I gotta figure out what we're going to be doing in that time. If I do more clay stuff, what do I need? Eventually I'm going to make a huge cellar to stock food for the winter, but if I there's no agricultural trader nearby, so I can't like buy wax to seal crocs. I guess I'll have to use fat to seal my crocs. Oh, I can't forget though, I do have the what's it called, the coolers, the cooling cabinets from food shelves. I can put ice in that and then seal the crocs, and that'll save food for like a couple years. So I don't have to worry about getting too much. Alright, so here is your peat. I don't know why it won't shift click in, but whatever. Also, this guy has refused to buy oak crates for ages, and I don't know why. Alright, so 17 years. Oh, wait. There we go. Cool. That's eight more lanterns. You know, I was saying earlier, ooh, I should like post VODs and stuff. Well, I'm going to be posting VODs again. I'm a few days behind on the vintage story. I might get on that tonight. Put that away. Oh, wait, I have 4. I can buy the last of your stock. Hang on. I like to be thorough. I don't want to leave anything on the table. And then I'll mine some coal on my way back. The copper should be finished by the time I get back. Maybe I should cast the copper first. It might not be finished. Oh, indecision. Perfect. Because the thing is, I'm going to need a lot of lanterns for this iron vein that I strike. I only need a little bit of iron to get started, but it's going to be like a multi-hour process trying to collect it, because I have to make the plates, and I have to make the lanterns, and then I actually have to do the mining. I'm almost tempted to leave the big iron mine to either off-stream, or when I have a particularly potent ramble I just gotta get out. Because apparently that's just how I'm operating playing Vintage Story now, is just talking non-stop. Let's see. Put these away. 17. Damn. I don't normally have that kind of stock of candles when I have bees. Alright. That's nice and hot. Get the casting going. And we'll get some coal. And after the coal, we'll take a quick break. Right. Oh, there's the warning. One. 2. Oh joy, we're gonna get a heavy storm. My bit rate's gonna appreciate that. I got distracted because I was gonna head to the trader. What was I doing? I was trying to figure out what clay stuff I'm gonna make during the storm. I thought about doing a lot of crocks for food, and then I got distracted talking about sealing them. I could do more pots, because my crop harvests will be ready in a couple months. Oh, new metal working point. I love the gradient from watching the copper cool. That looks really nice. Okay, toss that. Grab another bite of food. Cool. If not, pots or crocks. I guess shingles, maybe? So I can do more roofing. I'm gonna have to, one way or another. So so collecting... Oh, I leveled up in mining. I didn't even notice. We'll take... I can't take another point in ore miner. Let's do pickaxe expert. And then processing. Heavy hits on Slangworks is a split. Ooh, we'll do blacksmith. Getting additional quality for my items will extend their durability, and then I only have to worry about handles and binding. Alright, no jibber jabbers in here. So I'm thinking we'll mine until we get the storm warning. Oh, but if I do that, I'm a fool! There is fire clay in here. Wait a second! Ah, it's fire clay! Did we ever finish fogs? Yes, we did. We kind of blazed through the last few sessions in that, but we did, yeah. I thought there wasn't gonna be any clay, because, like, I did some poking around in the floor in a few spots. I didn't stop to think that it was gonna be, oh gosh, if we're, like, 5 or 6 blocks into this node, this coal node's probably really big. Oh, sweet fire clay. Part of me wants to say screw the iron. Let's get let's go coal mining and get all the fire clay. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, for coal to form, you'd probably need a lot of biomass to begin with. And given the periods from which it formed, which I'm not a paleontologist, and I do not know the order of all of the different ages. But largely in the Carboniferous age, when you have like massive plants, yeah, I would imagine you'd have huge amounts of plant matter and mostly plant matter, compacted. What I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend I know, is how you get all of that matter compacted. Like, how does the material end up there? And what I'm thinking is it like with like induced ice ages where, you know, we have a volcanic event or a meteoric event where, you know, you have a huge die-off of species, and in the millions of years it takes for that to recover, you've got all of this matter decaying and converting into soil or whatever, getting buried by something. Buried by ash. I don't know. Like I said, I find it all fascinating, but I don't know jack about it. I'm kind of talking out of my ass here. I would love to find out. I think Kurzgesagt has a really good one of their like hour-long videos where they do the timeline stuff. I think they've got one on that. I may just watch that after stream. Coal was giant algae beds that covered previous oceans that covered the world. Oh, yeah, I would do it. Because again, in that same period, the transition from cyanobacteria towards photosynthesizing bacteria and then moving into algae as well. You know, you would have periods where there was nothing to predate on it. There was nothing to curb it, so it would just grow. I could see that. Meteors, one landed in Utah today. Nice. I hope no one got hurt. You hear those freak stories about like meteors landing in through There was a story, actually, I want to say it was in like December or January, where someone had a meteorite strike through their car windshield while they were driving. I want to say that's what that story was. There's so much fire clay in here, holy shit. Oh, this is great. I really need to make more lanterns. I want to do iron too, but oh, this is good. Fire clay is great because I want to make honestly, I could get iron and I could sail straight into making a poor quality cementation furnace, and I could just start making steel. David's mom's. That would be nice. I don't have. Well, I bought sulfur. You know what? I think you're onto something, Pat. Because I'm pretty sure I've got some saltpeter on hand. I've got bone meal. Yeah, I've got 16 saltpeter. I've got some sulfur chunks. I bought them on a whim. Didn't really have a good reason why. I think I've got a good reason why now. Okay. Let's clear up our inventory. Oh, but if I use bombs, I'm gonna destroy the clay. I think we need to save the bombs for the iron, actually. That's probably the better plan. Because ore blasting bombs destroy stone, and the stone mining bombs destroy ores. I don't think clay counts for either of them. Oh, and I can't even make the stone blasting bomb because I don't have iron to start. But the ore blasting bomb, that should just be blasting powder, which is coal, sulfur, and saltpeter. And it's 4 for 1. Oh, but I don't... Why is it made of cloth? Why can't it be like parchment or something? I don't care for that. Huge wetlands formed peat, which got buried. And then the heat and pressure slowly removed oxygen and methane, leaving coal. Okay. That makes sense. Of course, I don't know what makes peat bogs. I want to say it's plant matter. Anyway, I am going to grab a quick bite to eat, and then we're going to take a break. And I'm pretty sure the temporal storm warning, or the storm itself, is going to start while we do our break. So, apologies in advance if you're subbed and you're not going to be seeing the ads, and your lovely music experience is going to be interrupted with the wailing of the damned and the dulcet tones of hell. But I will see you in a few minutes. Thank you for sticking around. Feel free to mute your tab, change your tab, whatever you got to do. I don't care. I don't care about the revenue. I get like nothing from it. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, all right, we are back, and the storm has not started yet, which is nice. I think our copper should be mostly cooled. I have thought. I made all these ingot molds, and I was going to work on the oven. Why? Why am I going to work on the oven? I want iron. I want better tools. I mean, I want the oven. I'll do part of the oven, I think. And I don't want to spend all stream working on goldsmithing copper plate. But I want some lanterns, and copper's a very cheap, malleable material, readily available. I really wish we could do the bombs, but I don't think that's really viable. I'm waiting on my first flax harvest, and it's only halfway done. The carrots are almost done, even though they're all heat stunted. They're actually... None of them have died, which is fine. I think they would only really die once we hit the heat of July and August. I forget, how many stages is it for rice? It's 10 stages for rice, jeez. We also got some soybeans. Not many. I didn't find many seeds, but I found them in ruins. My first flax harvest is probably going to go towards making a windmill, because I would really like to get a helve up, a helve hammer, instead of having to do all of my plate smithing by hand, because plate smithing by hand sucks. Like, frankly speaking, it's just not... It's not bad, but it gets dull really fast, and given that eventually with the right metalworking skill... Oh, that's my warning. Let's take this inside. Screw the clay. We're gonna do our cold smithing inside. Oh, that food's spoiling. I have Crocs spoiling? What? Oh, right, because the ingredients were partially spoiled. Yeah, we're just gonna take this inside. we'll take this inside, and then I can continue to yap. And I've forgotten where I was. I lost my place. Oh, I want to get a helve because there's a skill you can get, what is it? Machine learning, where the helve can start doing, it benefits from some of your skills. And automated smithing actually lets you do your, single layer, smithing automatically. You know what I would like? I think it's Mastersmith. Mastersmith is fantastic for plate making, because instead of having to beat all of the voxels into place yourself, it just does it automatically. And then when you apply that with machine learning, you get faster smith plates. I think, pretty sure. Gotta remember, I don't have to spam my mouse, I can just hold it. Ugh, I hate the sound of shivers in these damn storms. You know what I need to do? I need to make a home that keeps me far away from these bastards during storms. Like, make lit enclosed areas that count as rooms so you don't have spawns. I just want to have a temporal storm where I don't have to listen to this mess. That would be great. It's just... You spend an hour listening to me ramble with my lovely voice, and then it's just... Sounds like someone sucking through a straw, and it's getting, like, bit crushed and warbled. I gotta say, though, as much as I don't like temporal storms, I do appreciate that the developers, added accessibility features for them, because you wouldn't know it if you haven't played before, but the actual storms are supposed to look like this. Like, it's constantly, like, warped, and it's, like, glitching back and forth. And this, I don't get motion sick easy, but that makes me so ill. Like, it's so bad. There's also, I want to say there's another one for the color spreading. Maybe not. But, it makes me sick. Cool effect. Not for me. I want to say, oh, it gets relaxing after a little while. No. I wish. Oh, Pat, are you still here? I had an idea for a redeem on stream that I wanted to run by you. If you're not here, that's fine. I'll DM to it. But I wanted some input. I was thinking of making a redeem because apparently I'm just leaning into talking nonstop. Making a redeem that's just like, hey, ramble about this topic, and provided it's not like wholly inappropriate or something like, God forbid, political. I've had my share of political rants on stream. I don't do that. It might be interesting. And again, maybe not. Maybe it just never gets used. It might be worth a try. Because I will absolutely go the fuck off about random topics if I have anything I know about them. If. Stop tilting my damn camera. Stop it. Oh, you know what? If we do go for the iron, we could smith an iron anvil on stream. That's always fun. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, I have tool handles. Can I? But I can't just use. I just can't slap a tool handle on that, can I? I can't. I need sticks. Well, I've got some logs, and I've got. Where's that saw? Chop it into firewood. And then we saw the firewood. There we go. That works. I would say, oh, we should be hearing the bells saying the storm will end soon. It would be nice. Quit rotating my damn camera. Stop it. Man, this is a long one. It's early in the game, but it's just so long. It is heavy, though. That makes sense. Oh, shit. There we go. How bad is it? Couple tainted. Is it deep? They're rough, but it's more the shivers I'm worried about. Oh, finally. A respite. I can sleep and all of this noise pollution will go away. And just as I finish my last plate. Very nice. Well, it's also 3 in the morning, so it's almost daylight. But I need to wait on these guys to despawn. So we'll just give it a couple hours. We'll see how it goes. Probably sleep till like 9. Yeah, 10:30. Alright, shield on. Let's see, anyone else waiting? Nope. All good. Very nice. But yeah, let's go get some iron, I think. Well, hang on. Make the lanterns first. I also kind of left my old lantern behind in the coal mine. Nice. Okay. Oh, my bowl spoiled. There we go. Yeah, I had partially spoiled meat in that last crock, so of course it spoiled a little faster than I expected. Okay. Put the hammer away, pick up the prospecting pick. Do I need to reforge my pick again? I did it just yesterday. That also reminds me, I need to check and see if Toolsmith has had an update. I know the mod author was looking at making falxes and spears, Toolsmith valid, but they were trying to work something out with like improving damage or something like that. I think with the new update, though, coming, where you can quench or temper your tools, your tool heads, maybe that won't be necessary. Which does remind me, with the addition of bellows and such to the smithing process, or the forging process, rather, um, I will need to have a refresher on base game, like vanilla smithing mechanics. Ah, hello. Hi, Slayer. Hello. It's good to hear from you. I hope you're well. It's always good to see you again. I hope you're holding up as well as you can. I want to pick up, we're looking for magnetite. 218. I think there's 342. 342 is looking like the best. Hope you too. Jeez. I don't know what you know about what's going on in the States right now, but it's been a rough year. all things considered, I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. Things are just kind of complicated right now. I'm holding up. I'm focusing on me and doing better with what I can. Hey, Gooby. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Allergies were killing me, and I don't want that sound on stream. Anyway, I won't get too into it, but things are tense in the United States right now. Like, I went to vote, and I didn't get accosted by police, but that's not to say that other people won't. But focusing on me, I'm gonna be doing more stuff for the channel. Still figuring out how that's gonna go, but I'm doing it. Okay, now if we're looking for iron, chances are good it's gonna be very deep. So I'm thinking I just dig down until I hit iron. Let's do a borehole check. Copper, quartz, bismuthite, magnetite, and pentlandite. What? What tier is nickel ore? It doesn't say. I don't think I'll need iron to get into it, but the fact that we've got all 5 of these in one borehole reading is promising. I'm thinking I may just be able to dig straight down and land on an iron node. And at some point earlier, I was going into it with that fire clay that we found in the black coal node. That means I can make a really shitty first cementation furnace for steel, and then I can go. Well, I could go straight into tier 3 bricks, but I have not seen peridotite anywhere for olivine, and I've not seen any bauxite. We might have to go exploring for different rock types so I can get those materials. But even just with the baseline, I say that because we have a huge ilmenite reading to our southwest. Like, this entire area is covered in titanium. Um, but that said, even just doing the tier 1 bricks with just crushed quartz, with enough fire clay on hand, there's not too much replacement you have to do. But the tiers of bricks get orders of magnitude better. Like the tier 1 bricks, I think there's a 1 in 10 chance that they break every time you do steel cook. The tier 2 do 1 in 100, and then the tier 3 are 1 in 1000. So you're getting way, way more use out of your high tier bricks than your lower ones. And I'm pretty sure that also applies for the beehive kiln. Yeah, you could do refractory bricks. That you could do regular fire clay, but they degrade really fast. I think it's like a 1 in 3 or 1 in 5 chance. It's really bad. They break down really fast. Not gonna lie, learning how to do this stuff in like real life would be fascinating. Though you don't need you don't need all of this stuff to smelt steel in real life. Like the carburization process in real life can be done in like a mound of dirt. You just use charcoal and your I don't I don't think you could just use like straight hematite or magnetite for iron. I don't know how you process iron ore into something that can be cooked down. Oh, damn it. I broke my pick again. If I made some nails and strips, I could do a better binding. It's only moderately better, but it is better. I could do a copper strip binding. That wouldn't be bad. Thinking back to my last multiplayer Vintage Story server where I was playing our group's blacksmith, and I made a pickaxe with toolsmith, and with the binding and the professional tool handle it had, it was you could get like 9 or 10,000 blocks broken in one go, and the tool head had a durability of like 15,000 too. Wild stuff. Okay. Put that back. Offload some of our crap. I'm gonna have to make crates for all of these rock types I've got. Actually, I've got pots. I can just toss some of these out. And then we'll sort through it later. Main concern right now is just getting iron. Finding iron. Trying to. And praying that it doesn't show up in a cave. Because those deep caves have some really nasty stuff, and I have no armor. I also got to decide if I want to go for iron plate again. Like I did the last time we streamed Vintage Story. Or if I'm going to spring for steel armor. Steel armor is kind of overkill for doing the story content, which I ended up not getting to last time anyway. I had the map to get to the Resonance Archives, and then I just didn't do it. I got distracted, burned out, kind of went after other stuff. And I guess it's worth addressing that, as if I didn't have enough stuff to ramble about today. I mean, I think I've talked about it enough, but I have chronic depression. You can almost tune a watch to the cycle of me going from energetic and talkative and plenty of oh, and it's rich iron too. Um, you could tune a watch to the cycle of me going from talkative and energetic to not. Um, I've been getting better about handling negative thought spirals. I went to therapy for it years ago, and I think I may need to get a checkup. Fuck you, fuck you, dude. Um, but it's worth noting that a lot of my creative endeavors, a lot of my projects and stuff I want to do are regularly stymied by the fact that I just don't have energy for shit so often. Um and I don't want to go into whatever it is I'm doing now, doing the audiobook reading and at some point figuring out what the fuck I want to do on YouTube because I want to do videos, I just don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to go into it telling people, "Oh, it's going to be different this time. It's going to be different this time." It's like, "No, this is a chronic medical condition and it's worth acknowledging that this will probably have some bumps in the road. This will happen again. Despite what I would prefer, it will be a problem again at some point. And I'm done beating myself up for inconsistency when part of the problem, not all of it, I'm not using it as a crutch, when part of the problem is literally just mental health complications that are mostly outside of my control. It's not an excuse. It is just a fact of how it works, how things are gonna go. Um, and I may end up just cutting this specific segment out. Gosh, I kind of wish I separated my game audio from my speaking audio, so the a video with this clip in it doesn't just have the tick, 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 tick in the background. Um, what is the light level on this again? Sorry, I'm distracting myself. Uh, anyway, I want to do more creative endeavors, and I want to grow my channel and my community. I want to put the effort in, and I am acclimating with the fact that the way this industry works, I'm going to be playing from a disadvantage because I have issues with consistency in my energy and my focus and just use of my time. A lot of my a lot of my creative work I do during my work from home stuff because things have taken a lull for now. But if that changes, well, I gotta bear in mind that that's a thing that could change. Um, and I want to be upfront about it. I want to be honest about it. I want to make sure people have the right expectations. And more importantly, that I have the right expectations. It's too... I don't like how close that shiver is. It's all too easy to say this kind of shit and then forget about it. Like, there will come a point, maybe during one of my depressive episodes, where I'm going to say, "Oh, what's the point of this shit? Why am I doing this? I've done it again. I've committed myself to things that I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't like how it feels." And the important part there is to just let that pass. Rather than my usual pattern in years past, decades past at this point, of letting they're not intrusive thoughts, they're just thoughts. They can't intrude, they're just thoughts. Letting the thoughts win. And just being patient. As much as it sucks to say, as easy as it is to say, it's just about patience. Hi, Hannah. You have joined at a perfect time for one of my trademark rants about what I've learned and what I want to do with my life. It's good to have you. But I just want to make sure that I set proper expectations of myself for myself and for others. So it's like, hey, you were uploading a video like a couple times a week and now you've dropped off the face of the earth. Are you dead? And it's like, no, just depressed. Just give it a bit. just give me a minute. I'll catch up. Knowing full well that with how content creation platform algorithms work, content creation platforms, it's YouTube. No one does anything outside of YouTube. It's not like I'm putting shit on Vimeo or whatever. And I think you have to be invited to do Nebula. Like, just kind of accept the fact that visibility is not going to be great, or may not be great, or might be great for a while, and then it just falls off the planet, and not stake any moral judgments of myself on that. That's kind of the important part, and it's the part that's really easy to ignore. Is you commit to this sort of thing and you put in all the work, and when things don't turn out, it's a very human reaction to go, oh, I did something wrong. Because our brains, as they have currently evolved, did not evolve for social media algorithms. Like, that's just a fact. we didn't have social media 10,000 years ago. And it's about curbing that sort of temptation, that kind of thought. Kind of tempted to take all this iron up to the surface, make some more iron picks, or make some iron tools, and then come back with more iron to make my iron. So that's a lot of iron bloom. These are rich. I've lost my train of thought. It's not exactly like a confession. It's not as dramatic as it kind of sounds like I'm making it out to be. But I think it's important to say now, for the people who are hearing this now live, and for the people who are hearing this in the future, when I upload this VOD and they happen to see it, because I'm going to upload the VODs because I'm going to fucking commit. Even if it doesn't go anywhere.
And now, Secret
fuck.
Horse.
That one. Okay, you got me with that one, Squid. I was fixated in a bit of a personal rant, and that one got me. Hi, Squid. But I'm gonna do VODs, and I want to do video editing, even though I have to learn a completely new software that is notorious for being a bit harder to work with than Premiere. Hey, Squid, what video editing software do you use? Do you use Adobe Premiere, or do you use something else? I picked up DaVinci Resolve, but haven't really learned anything about it yet. Sorry to put you on the spot, but you showed up, and I know you do video editing, so I figured I might as well. Oh, shoot, that was That was my rack for... oh, my brain is melting out of my ears. It was my rack for molds. Put an extra crate down. Then put all this iron bloom in it when I'm done. Filmora. Pushing a lot of AI features. Okay, so you use a paid app for it. Okay. I have been working to de-Adobe myself. I canceled my subscription, and then earlier this week I cleared like 50 gigabytes of software off my drive because apparently the media encoders paired with Adobe Premiere are just huge, like ridiculously huge. But I want to do video editing again, but I want to be mindful of what I'm getting myself into. I've used DaVinci Resolve before, but I remember nothing about it. All right, I think it's 120 per bloomery, and that'll give me 6 ingots apiece. That'll be fantastic. I'm probably going to head back to the mine because I want to keep yapping about this. Long story short, for those of you who are just joining, it's not exactly a secret that I have chronic depression, and I have struggled in my creative endeavors in the past because I've refused to really acknowledge the fact that I am distractible, that I have issues with committing to projects, and that I have that distractibility and issues with committing to projects because every 3 to 6 weeks, my brain kind of just says, nah, we're not fucking doing anything. And then I spend a couple weeks recovering, and then I have energy that I can spend and I want to do for projects, things I'm motivated to do until it happens again. And I want to be honest with myself and my community about an expectation that my work is going to be inconsistent because of it. I am trying to resolve myself to focus on coming back rather than like trying to make the most of, you know, my energy, what I've got, because life changes, things happen, things just don't go according to plan. And, you know, I wouldn't fault someone else for like having a life emergency and then not uploading videos or not streaming or whatever the fuck for a period of time. Because I'm a perfectly normal, reasonable person. And I need to hold myself to that same lack of expectation. You know, be responsible, you know, be accountable. Like if I say, I'm going to do this thing, I promise I'm going to do this. You have my word, I'm going to do this. Do it. If it has to be delayed, sure, but delay it because you're recovering. You're talking to myself here. Delay it because I'm recovering, or I'm in the middle of it. I have a limited amount of energy. I'm at a limited amount of bandwidth. But don't just give up on shit because it's hard. It's not usually a big problem for me. Giving up on shit because I think it's not going to be super popular. That's not in my control. And even if it weren't, I'm focusing on doing shit I like doing. And not delaying or refusing to do stuff out of fear. And it's not to say you can't feel afraid when you're
and now
you're making yourself vulnerable. Ooh, level 5 mining. You know, it's perfectly reasonable to be... do I want to do mining? I kind of want to do smithing as a job. I'll just take level 3. Oh, I can't take level 3 ore miner without taking the miner job. Yeah, sure, why not? You know, there's plenty of people who are like, oh, just do it afraid, do it scared. And it's like, I'd really rather not. I'm scared all the time. I'd really like to do it calm and collected and reasonable. But at this point, I'm kind of more just worried about never doing anything ever if I can't do it calm and reasonable and collected. Because despite what it sounds like, a lot of the time, I'm not a calm, reasonable, collected person. Or at least I'm... Would you fall off of something? At least I'm not in my head. I do a very good at presenting it. I don't exactly mask for stream, but I had a job where I had to speak to people for a living, and I've learned to find a good medium. Not to mention, I'm just comfortable doing this. But it's worth being honest about that. Setting the expectation to start. And then sticking to it. That's the hard part. I like to have these rambles, these rants, that I've been doing for like 3 fucking days now. Because I have a firm belief that when I speak honestly and genuinely, sincerely, I am solidifying something for myself. You know, you get that mindset of this is what I mean, this is what I really think. It's easy to like think something and then forget about it, you know, just not acknowledge it. But speaking it, especially speaking it to other people, really kind of solidifies that sort of thing for me. And especially, cave, no. Bad. I mean, I want to get this iron. That was, I think that was a bell head shiver. If that got in here, it would have killed me in one hit. Anyway, I don't know why I got quiet for something that cannot hear me speak. Oh, can you imagine if Vintage Story had voice chat? Like, enemies can detect you by speech? With, like, an open mic system? Oh, that'd be fucking terrifying. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Saying the things I mean and committing to them here and now is important for me. And if I'm being completely honest, it's also a little scary too. Because I have a history of not being accountable. I have a history of making promises to myself and to other people about what I want to do with my creative endeavors, who I want to become. I am a lizard. And reneging on those commitments sits with me. It bugs me. I do my level best not to ruminate anymore because it doesn't do anything but make me feel bad. And can't change the past, but I could certainly live and not feel shitty about it. But living with chronic depression and not having energy for things can really dig into those commitments. And it's taken me a long time to learn that I don't have to be perfect in my commitments if I am honest about what's going on to myself and to other people. say, hey, I will do my best. There's no guarantees, but I will do my best. And that, despite what some people might say, what some people might have you believe in this shithole of an internet culture we've got in some places, that is enough. It can be enough, and it is enough. If you stick to it, and you're honest. That's my opinion. That's my lukewarm take for the day, is be honest with yourself about your commitments and what you can commit to, the magnitude of what you have the energy for. And give yourself a break. I'm saying this to you now, but also to myself. No, it's not just knowing your strengths. Know your weaknesses. Know your vices. Know that you can only handle so much of one thing before you just want to, like, throw it away, put it all down, and say, fuck it. Or you'll get so far into something you're doing, and maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's low self-esteem, or whatever, and it just kind of eats away at you until that thing stops being enjoyable to do. Step away from it. But come back is the big thing. Is come back to it. Put it down. Set it aside. It's you haven't failed. It's just because it's not finished doesn't mean it's a failure. Just take a second and come back when you're ready. And there may be things, at least for me, it feels like a majority of things. There may be things that you start to work on and you think, this isn't really working out. It's not really working for me. It takes some real honest evaluation to decide, is that fear or self-consciousness, or is it a genuine evaluation of whether this thing's working out for you or not? And for me, given my past history with depression and unfulfilled commitments, a lot of the time it feels like I'm just kind of looking for an excuse to get out. Not to say that there's... This is a weird part that kind of feels like a cop-out to me. But it was said by someone whose opinion I respect just recently. If it stops being fun, why do I have my tongs here? If it stops being fun, you can stop. If it stops giving you what you wanted when you set out, you have permission to stop. You don't need anyone's permission to stop. In a world where so many people, myself included, are so consumed by this notion of wasting time, the time is going to be spent anyway. The time is already spent. I'm going to get a little philosophical, little existential here. Time's already spent. In the grand scale of things, you have lived and not died already. Just blink, gone. It's worthwhile to spend that time how you want, as best as you can. And I recognize it comes from a sort of, I didn't fire the iron. Fuck. I recognize that it comes from a point of privilege to be able to say that sort of thing, because there are plenty of people who do not have the opportunities I have had and have now. But even in the worst points, if you want to read something genuinely inspiring and also absolutely depressing, read what was it called? I can't remember the title now. It's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He's a Holocaust survivor, and he depicts his experiences in the camps, the concentration camps. And he even talks about how there are people, you would see some people in these camps going through like the worst treatment imaginable, and some of them are smiling. They are, they give their only good pair of shoes to someone who's just worn through theirs because it's all they have available. It's a really telling account of people making the best of a absolutely horrendous situation. And it does kind of put it in perspective for yourself, or at least it did for me. It's like, gosh, I'm a really sad, depressed, autistic dude that's having a really hard time getting himself to get up and draw in the morning or go to the gym. And it's like, you read about Holocaust survivors, it's like, gosh, you don't really acknowledge privilege till you see it put plainly on paper. Not that you have to compare everything, all of your problems to that. It doesn't mean your problems are insubstantial. It's just a change in perspective. That is worth having. That's definitely not like, hey, read this book and make yourself feel guilty, you piece of shit. You're not a Holocaust survivor. Your problems don't matter. They matter. That's just, it's what you make of them that's important in my mind. Anyway, I'm starting to get a little off the mark of what I set out to say. Bringing it back in. Play this War of Mine and make your depression worse. Genuinely, this War of Mine's a fantastic game. I think it's a great story about depicting going through a civil war. And gosh, maybe I need to give that a replay in the coming year. Probably not. I shouldn't joke about that, but maybe I'll do a playthrough on stream of of this War of Mine, and you can see what it's like. I don't have the kids DLC, but I do have the base game. Anyway, reining it back in. All I'm really getting at is I'm acknowledging, I'm putting up front here for myself and for other people seeing this, that going through the hobbies I want is hard because of my conditioning and my mental health. And speaking frankly, my learning disability. I'm autistic. I'm used to just saying, oh, I have Asperger's, and people understand what that means. But that terminology is being phased out. And I don't want to be... I'm not completely going to be tongue-in-cheek about the change in terminology. I have some qualms about why people make moral judgments about people using that. It's like, oh, it came from a Nazi researcher, doctor. It's like, I don't think we're giving it any kind of power by still using the term, but I get it. I get why people want to move on from that. To the topic, because I keep going on tangents. There's a temperament that comes with autism, for high-functioning autism, ASD, Asperger's, with like pathological demand avoidance, where much stronger than you'd normally find in kids. When you're presented with a situation in which a normal task starts becoming a compulsion, in a way, you are compelled to do this thing, suddenly the resistance gets dialed up really, really hard. And it's easy to write it off as like immaturity. Right. It's like, oh, you're being so childish, just grow up. Just fucking do it. And that's how I've kind of operated in my life.
And now, Secret Horse.
Make your depression worse in chat. Horse. Make your depression horse. See, this is the thing I'm talking about. It's like making really compelling conversation on YouTube, but then it's like secret horse. I don't mind it. Other people might, but fuck it. I'm keeping it. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. Horse. Autistic, pathological demand avoidance. Where when tasks become a demand, a compulsion, the resistance comes up. And I've spent a lot of my life kind of beating myself up for that. And I'm not going to be one of those people that like throws their parents under the bus. It's like, oh, it's all my parents' fault. But part of my raising, one of the key phrases I remember hearing often, well, not often, but often enough to remember, growing up, was that autism for me was not going to be a crutch. It was not going to be an excuse to not find my way in the world. That one's not verbatim. I'm interpreting. And on first glance, that can sound really, oh, damn pick. That can sound horrible. Maybe for me, just having grown up with it, I don't think it is. Because the intent is like, the world is a difficult place, and people are not going to adapt to you regardless. Like, there are some nice people out there, but by and large, they're not going to adapt to you. Whether you have a learning disability or disorder or not, using that as an excuse to not participate, to not have concern for the environment and people around you, it's not an excuse. And younger me, twisted that into the less charitable interpretation is, oh, you've got it, but too fucking bad. You need to be held to the same standard as everyone else. And that's partially fair, in my opinion. It's unreasonable to say, oh, you know what, I've got this learning disability, everyone's going to adapt to me, and I'm not going to do anything to change my behavior. Right? But that's also not to say that you shouldn't have some reasonable expectation for people to not meet you where you are. Like, that's fair. That's a fair thing to want. In an ideal world, I would say it's a fair thing to expect. But expectations are finicky, as I've discussed so far. And in developing that mindset, it just became habit to kind of beat myself up mentally for failing to meet my charge That is, when things go wrong or I'm having difficulties, the word should comes up a lot. Where it's like, I should be doing better. I should have had this under control. And, frustration and anger can be a strong motivating factor, but that is not a healthy way to go about it. And it's only been in recent years, recent times, where I have really started to cut myself some slack. I'm trying. I'm not great at it. Speaking frankly, I have to catch myself a lot, and I'm not really good with like mantras and things like that. The hardest part is just getting myself to believe these things I'm saying now. And that's why I think it's important to be saying them. It's... What am I getting at here? Saying this, reaching this point in my life has been a significant stage in my growth. It's enough to say, I don't like the situation I'm in. Fuck's sake. All my tools are falling apart. It's enough to observe your situation and how you see yourself and say, I'm not satisfied with this. It is another to commit to it, work to make change, and forgive yourself for not doing it perfectly, having struggles along the way. Finding that things aren't quite how you expect they should be. Because, believe it or not, even if you might feel like it, this is more to me than it is to you. As much as you might feel like it, you're not a very good judge of most things. You are human. You are fallible. And that's okay. That's to be expected. But don't stop short of the rest of the work that comes with that. That is, recognizing I've messed up. I'm fallible. You don't write it off and be like, oh, it's fine, just like, it's not a problem, it doesn't matter. And you don't self-flagellate over failing to meet the expectations that may or may not have been reasonable to begin with. I have spent the majority of the last decade, let's be honest, self-isolating. I've lived by myself for like the last 5, going on 6 years. Not a big deal. I still have friends. I socialize. I don't get out of the house very often. But I have spent the last 10 years oscillating between trying to cast off this judgment, this unfair judgment, and also trying to maintain some kind of a hold on accountability. All while refusing to acknowledge the fact that I have chronic depression. I didn't get diagnosed until like 2 years ago. I wasn't getting medication because I had a chip on my shoulder about medication in the same way someone might have a chip on their shoulder about getting fucking glasses. Horribly unfair. And I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't getting help. I wasn't doing anything about it. I was just kind of raw dogging it and letting it happen. And it didn't go anywhere. It was constantly going through motivation shit and self-help shit and back and forth and back and forth and not doing anything. And this whole time feeling like I'm wasting my life. I'm streaming video games instead of doing something with my career, even though there's a global pandemic and the world, the job market is just falling apart because of fucking generative AI and companies and systems that were not built for people like me. No, it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm autistic and I can't use this as a crutch. I have to be responsible for everything I do. Or in that oscillation, oh, everything's broken and everything sucks and none of it's my fault, so I shouldn't care about it and I shouldn't try to improve. Also, not the best way forward. I've leveled up mining twice doing all of this iron. Look at that. And so I am here now having this conversation by myself in an empty room to say that I am trying to find a middle path. And part of that, I think, is going to require me to step outside of my comfort zone. And I don't mean that in like a really like hand wavy, like, oh, I gotta do something that makes me a little uncomfortable, you know, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna like, you know, go out, you know, talk to a stranger, do like little things. No, it's like you gotta commit. Not be comfortable with being uncomfortable, but kind of just accept that being uncomfortable is just part of the process. And that it's not actually a bad thing, even though I can't speak for everyone. If it wasn't already apparent, I am extremely, like, spoiled and sensitive to, like, even minor problems. To the point where if I can't solve it, I kind of just want to, like, hot potato it away from me immediately and avoid any and all kinds of discomfort. And part of that comes from having a media addiction. And developed sensitivity to rejection. Not to get too far into like therapy speak shit. But simultaneously taking it seriously and also not making such a huge fucking deal about all of it. Again, finding a middle ground. Trying to find some kind of middle ground that works. And I do sincerely hope, at least for those of you who are regulars around here, and maybe some of you who are new listening to this now live or in the future, I genuinely do hope that you will accompany me on it. I don't exactly see myself as a particularly inspiring person, and it shocks me when I get messages sometimes about someone saying, you know, like, hey, you were talking about this thing, and it really resonated with me, and it really meant something to me. And then we have a conversation. And I recognize that if I do end up finding some modicum of success and start developing a bigger community, I'm not going to be able to really field that kind of conversation with people, with everyone. It's... I have front-loaded my grief from success that I may not even have, and for the last 5 years, that was stopping me from trying. I mourn the loss of something I enjoy in my streaming career that I've not lost yet. And somehow it was still... I was jumping the gun. I wasn't even getting to the good stuff. I was just immediately to the sad stuff. And I think I'm good on that. I think I've had my fill of that for now. Let it come. But let it come on my terms. Having actually put the work in. Deal with the stress. Deal with the bullshit of this tech bro, generative AI hellscape. Just deal with it. I got some really nice people that hang out here. And I can handle the not nice people that come through, as few and far between as they are. It is a commitment to myself, too. It's not taking the leap, because it's not a leap. I'm not, like, staking my livelihood on this. I do this as a hobby. It's not like, if I were to take the leap and be like, oh, I'm gonna quit my day job, it's like, well, I'll cross that road when I get to it. Ooh, my iron bloom is ready. we can smith some of that next time. But when I'll jump that bridge when I get to it. That's not a good way of phrasing that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's dial that back. Walk back from the metaphorical verbal ledge. Oh, I probably want my tongs for this. Oh, wait, no I don't, because I'm not actually holding my hands. So, I would say, to you listening to this, expect something. I don't know what. I'm doing audiobook stuff for fun. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. The plan is to just do the 3 books of On Anger to Novatus by Seneca. And we'll see how it goes. If I enjoy the process, I'll do more. If I don't, I won't. You know what, actually? I want to use a crate for this iron balloon. So we'll make some more bloomeries. I mentioned this yesterday. I want to do some kind of Let's Play series. I know it's overdone. I spent a lot of my time in high school and college, mostly in college, kind of bemoaning the fact that the OG Let's Play era is long and gone. Or at the very least, trying to make a career out of it is not exactly feasible. But speaking realistically, it's probably unreasonable to be thinking in those terms anyway. Do it for fun. Just fucking play the video game. Enjoy yourself. Don't sit there wishing, oh, I want to play the video game, but I can't because I'm not going to make $100,000 a year off of it. And it's like, just stop. Don't. A lot of my problems would be solved if I would stop quitting before I was even ahead, before I've started. I think that's part of what this can really boil down to, is being honest with yourself, recognizing your limitations, and maybe curbing your expectations about situations and industries that you may have not actually interacted with. Anyway, I am going to head off for the night. Between the audiobook reading and this stream, I think I have yapped myself silly. I'm going to spend the rest of the night not talking. Unfortunately, I have meetings tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Until next time, I hope you have a lovely night. Thank you for sticking around and listening to this. It is astonishing to me that going from my anxiety ramble in Oxygen Not Included and having like 2 or 3 average viewers to what has become readily an average of like 9 or 10 people a night in Vintage Story shocks me. Glad to have you, those of you who are here regularly, and those of you who aren't. Maybe I should really lean into the fact that people like my voice. Maybe. Should do better to take care of it too. Anyway, until next time, I hope you have a lovely night. And I will see you, presumably, tomorrow, or when I see you next. Good night, and bye-bye.